Everyone knows Luka Doncic is one of the best young players in the entire NBA, with the potential to be one of the best players of all time. And already at age 23, he's had multiple All-Star appearances, All-NBA appearances, and top 5 finishes in MVP voting. Individually, some great accomplishments at a young age. But the one thing he hadn't had yet was a deep playoff run and a career-defining series. That was until this year, where he played Phoenix in the Western Conference semis. As you guys know, Dallas coming into this series, they were the heavy underdogs versus defending Western Conference champions with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and a top 5 defense. Quite frankly, nobody outside of Texas gave Dallas a real shot of pulling this off. And after the first 2 games, everything was going according to plan, with Phoenix having a commanding 2-0 lead. Now, the one thing I did gloss over was the trash talking and the sheer arrogance of some of these Suns players. Specifically, Devin Booker, who was doing a lot of talking up 2-0. He was trash talking Luka, as well as Jalen Brunson, and had this interaction late in Game 2. And as you guys know, when it comes to superstar players and potential all-time great players, the saying is, don't poke the bear and don't give them added motivation to crush you. Devin Booker in that moment broke the golden rule and he poked the bear. And even fast forward into Game 5, in that game, Devin Booker once again was doing a lot of trash talking and had this viral moment mocking Luka and his flopping. Now, for the second time in this series, Devin Booker broke the golden rule once again. And this time, Luka had a public response saying this. And if you couldn't hear that audio real great, what Luka said was everybody's acting tough when they're up. Basically calling out Devin Booker and the Suns for being frontrunners and only talking trash when they're up and when they're winning. Hearing that video clip, what I instantly thought of was Michael Jordan back in 1998 saying a very similar thing about the Charlotte Hornets.
Well, that's alright. Let's see if all that trash talking starts when it's 0-0 instead of 5-6 point lead. That's where it starts.
Now, to give some context for that clip, that was in the 98 playoffs in the second round versus Charlotte. Prior to that moment, the series was tied at 1 game apiece, and B.J. Armstrong in Game 2 hit a game winner and was talking all types of junk to Jordan and his former Bulls teammates. And as you guys know, when it comes to Jordan, he takes everything personal. And in the next 3 games, he would dominate, averaging 34-4 on 48% shooting. Chicago won all 3 games and stomped Charlotte in epic fashion. Now, that Hornets team MJ beat up on, they were a mediocre team. They won 51 games, but they had no championship aspirations or any real title hopes. This Phoenix team Luka's playing, they have a legit shot to make the finals and win it all. And Luka going off on them is highly impressive at only age 23. And really, after Game 5, this series was all Luka Doncic, as in Game 6 versus Phoenix at home, down 3-2, he had 33 points, 11 boards, 8 assists with 4 steals, and a 27-point blowout victory. And in Game 7, it got even better, as in a winner-go-home game, Luka Doncic was typical Luka, having 35 points, 10 boards, and 4 assists on above 60% shooting. And pretty important to note, in the first half, he had 27 points, equaling Phoenix's team, who also had 27. And looking at the Suns starters in total for the game, they combined for 37 points, only 2 more than Luka had himself. And speaking of the Suns starters, the one guy talking tons of trash was indeed Devin Booker, who started this game 0 of 9 and finished 3 of 14 with only 11 points. and the Suns' quote-unquote Big Three combined for 26, which is less points than Luka had in one half of basketball. In my entire lifetime watching playoff basketball, I don't think I've witnessed a Game 7 so lopsided and so embarrassing. In 25, 30 years looking back on this is the game we're going to look to as a textbook lesson of why you don't trash talk one Luka Doncic. And for 1 second looking back at Devin Booker, throughout this entire series, there were Devin Booker versus Luka debates that some people took seriously. And some analysts even went this far when debating the two players.
But for the purposes of these playoffs, I would take Booker over Luka.
You serious?
Now, of course, that debate and that rivalry, it's non-existent, as Luka is the clear-cut better player. And in regards to the Phoenix Suns, for some odd reason they carry themselves like 5-time defending champions who have made 8 or 9 finals appearances, when in reality, they only have one deep playoff run where their opponents were riddled with injuries. And it was pretty great to see that Phoenix team get served a big piece of humble pie by yours truly, Luka Doncic. And lastly for this video, let's point out one thing pretty quickly. For a 23-year-old superstar to make the Western Conference Finals is a very rare feat. And looking at some of the best young NBA legends, Luka Doncic 100% is on that tier. Looking at LeBron in 07, he made the NBA Finals. Magic in 1980, he won the whole championship. Same thing with Duncan in 99, Kareem in 71, and even Shaq in 95 made the finals as a 21-year-old. Luka at age 23 is on that tier of NBA greatness and is ahead of schedule when it comes to winning basketball games in the playoffs. And for the final time in this video, I don't want it to be understated that this guy at age 23 with a pretty good supporting cast beat a 64-win team and the best team in the NBA in the second round. Once again, absolutely amazing. And like we saw earlier in the video, Luka Doncic had a very Michael Jordan-esque quote responding to Devin Booker's trash talk. And looking at both Jordan and Luka, their overall play styles aren't very similar. But one thing that's nearly identical is their approach to the game and their cutthroat mentality. As Luka already in the big-time games and big-time moments is absolutely fearless and cold-blooded. Even losing versus the Clippers in his early years, he put up big-time stats, he had buzzer beaters, and went off in Game 7s. Very similar to Jordan, who in his young playoff career put up monster stats, but couldn't win and couldn't get over the hump. In that respect, Luka Doncic compared to Jordan is ahead of schedule for his NBA resume. And one player he reminds me of is LeBron James in 07, who very similarly had a decent supporting cast. It was mainly shooters and role players who complemented him. I would say LeBron's East in 07, it was much weaker than Luka's West, but I think Luka had more teammate help. So overall, looking at both runs, it's pretty balanced, and I think Luka overall as a player is actually better than LeBron at age 23. And the Western Conference Finals versus Golden State, don't be surprised if Dallas upsets the Warriors, and Luka has an all-time great series. I know Golden State on paper, they're a very good defensive team, but this Dallas team, they get streaky, their shooters get going. Luka has 30, 35, 40 points. Things can get scary and out of hand pretty fast, like we saw in Game 7 versus the Phoenix Suns. So with that being said, that is the end of the video, and that is my final point. Once again, looking at Luka Doncic when it comes to trash talking, you don't want to poke the bear and upset him like one Devin Booker who learned that the hard way. And when it comes to the Jordan-Luka comparisons, I think their overall mindsets are very comparable, but their play on the court couldn't be more different. And when it comes to LeBron James comparisons, once again, offensively, Luka at this point was better than LeBron at age 23. And going forward to the Western Conference Finals, I think Dallas, they have the sneaky favorite to make the finals and possibly win it all. As Luka Doncic at age 23, he is that good and that great to carry a team to a championship at only age 23. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.